Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I always get a great response whenever I do placemat tutorials because you all love making them. You make different ones for each season like I do. I have lots of placemats. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do two different placemats. This is a round one and I have different fabric on the back than the front. So it's kind of a two-sided placemat. So if you get tired of looking at one side, you flip it over and you got a different placemat on the other side. And then this one is a lot of fun. It's called a four-patch design. And again, I put different fabric on the back in case I want to have something a little more simple. Okay, let's get started. For each placemat, you can use two fat quarters if you like. That means you can have a different one on the front as the back, or if you want, you can buy fabric off of the bolt, but you'll need to buy a half a yard for each placemat. That's if you want fabric, the same fabric on the front and the back. I'm using Fusible Interfacing Pelon 911 TD, or you can use Fusible Fleece, and you can even use cotton batting, but keep in mind, if you use the cotton batting, you need to do quilting stitches all over it to hold all of the pieces together. For the round placemat, you will need to cut two circles 16 inches in diameter. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to make your pattern to make a round placemat. So you're going to need a large piece of paper that's a little bit bigger than 18 inches square. I'm using old wrapping paper. So fold it in half and then fold it in half again. Now place your 7.5 inch line on the corner of your paper. Line it up, and then you're going to draw a little mark. And then just keep moving the ruler, keeping that 7.5 inch line on the corner, and draw another line. And you're going to continue doing that until you get all the way around. Now cut right on your drawn lines. Unfold the paper. And you now have your pattern for the placemat. On all my placemats, I am using Fusible Interfacing. And mine I purchased from Walmart, but not all Walmart stores have fabrics and crafts. So this is Pelon 911 TD. And on one side it's really rough. So place that piece with the rough side up. That's where your glue is. Then for the very back of the placemat, I'm using this fabric. This is the back side of the fabric, the not so pretty side. I'm going to put that against the glue side. And this is my fabric for the top, and I'm going to place this pretty side against this side of the fabric for the back. And smooth it all out. So now place your pattern on top. And this pattern is 16 inches diameter, 16 inches going across. Place some weights or pin this pattern to your fabric. And then you can either go ahead and cut right around it, or you can draw around it and then cut it out. Remove the pattern. Leave all of your fabric pieces as they are. Don't separate them. Then go ahead and place pins all the way around. While you're pinning, you're going to leave an opening that's large enough for your hand to go through. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to back stitch at this point. You're going to stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam. So continue all the way around the placemat. When you come to the two pins, back stitch again. After stitching, then you want to go all the way around the curved edges and do little clips. Be careful not to cut through your stitch line. Go to your opening and reach in between your fabric for the top and the back and begin turning it front side out. Now reach inside of it and push against the curved edges. Now do this next step at your ironing board. Fold your edges at the opening inside and then press it with your iron. And then turn it over to the back and then spray some water on it. Then you're going to continue by ironing and pressing, fusing that interfacing together. This is called a 4-patch design. You will need 2 different fabrics. Out of the fabrics, you're going to cut all of your pieces 9.5 by 8. Now match them up. You're going to take the 2 different pieces and bring them together. So front sides together, pretty sides, and then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam. Press your seams on the back, then open them up, and then press on top, pushing this seam towards the darkest fabric. Take either one of the rows and turn it to where it's opposite of each other. Then bring front sides together, matching this seam. In other words, this seam on top goes in the opposite direction, then the seam on the bottom. Pin your seam and then pin across. Stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam all the way across. Press the seam on the back side. Then open it up, pressing the seam on top, pushing the seam all in one direction. If you would like to put a pocket on your placemat, here's a really simple method to use. Cut 2 pieces of fabric 4.5 by 5.5. Bring pretty sides together and then stitch on 2 edges along this shorter edge and the other longer edge. Then trim a little bit of fabric off of the corner. Then reach inside, open this up, and turn it front side out, and then take it to your ironing board and press it flat. Then place the pocket down in the corner, and I did a little basting stitch on the edge right here. Then do a regular straight stitch on this edge and back stitch up here as well as down here. Now I'm going to layer everything together, and when I get my placemat top done, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the fabric for the back and the interfacing, and I like to cut it all at the same time. So layer the fabrics like this. Have your interfacing down here with the rough side up. That's where the glue is. Take your fabric for the underside of the placemat and have the pretty side facing up. Then take your placemat top and lay it pretty side down. Then take a ruler and your rotary cutter and trim all of that to be the same size. So go around all 4 edges. Now don't separate your fabrics. Keep them all together just like it was when you cut it out, because it's now ready and it's in the right order to stitch it together. So as you're pinning your edges, you want to make sure you indicate an area where you can turn it front side out. So this is big enough for my hand to go through. I have 1 pin here, 2 pins here, and I'm going to start stitching here and do a 1/4 inch wide seam. Back stitch, go down to your corner, leave your needle down through the corner and you're 1/4 of an inch away from the other edge. Lift your presser foot, turn your placemat, lower the presser foot, and continue stitching, going around all 4 sides. Now when you get to the 2 pins, you're going to back stitch and stop stitching at that point. So after stitching, then you're going to reach in between your fabric for the back and the fabric for the top and turn it front side out. So after you have it turned front side out, you want to reach inside and poke out all 4 corners. Turn those edges in at your opening, and then you want to press it flat. And of course, do this at your ironing board. Now turn it over to where you're looking at the underside of the placemat. Spray a little bit of water on it with a little spray bottle, and take your iron and continue pressing around the placemat to finish the fusing process. Well, I hope you enjoyed this placemat tutorial and that you did learn something new. Remember, if you're interested in other different types of placemat styles, I have many. So you want to look below your YouTube screen for the playlist that'll show you all of the different tutorials. So scroll down to the description section, click on Show More, or the down arrow, and then you'll notice a bunch of links will begin to appear. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.